Okay. Good morning. My dear future chartered accountants. Okay, so today in the first session, let us not go too hard. Let us have a little bit of introduction about myself, introduction about the subject, and also we'll have introduction about you, and then we'll move forward. First, let me talk about myself. Usually I used to ask this in class that can you guess these numbers? People were not, but I think now principal has already introduced, so you would know about those. Those are the ranks I got in foundation, intermediate and final level. I think I should first say thank to the podium, because if the podium was not there, many people sitting height and my standing height would be same. No? So I think podium is at least helping me. Anyway, so whenever I say this, I cleared the exam in 2010 with all the 3 levels ranks. After that, I worked for a equity research firm for about 5 years. Then now I'm into full-time teaching, and I also do on consultancy on certain projects. I'm working as a freelancer, but main bread and butter for me comes from teaching. And I do trading on stock market, so that is what my everyday in and out. So some of you are having the expression, same expression many people also will give me. After having good academic background and good corporate experience, why you have chosen teaching field? You have not got any other better job, you have to come to teaching field. Many people give different answers. I will give my honest answers. But before that, you know, after passing the exam or after becoming CA, you have 2 choices. Either you can be in employment or you can be in practice. You have either been practice or employment. Employment means you work for a company. Practice means you work on your own. You have your own office. So if you ask me what is the meaning of employment, employment is a process of getting paid for scolding from your boss or manager. If the scolding level is high, your payment is also high. So what is practice? Practice is also a process of getting paid, but for scolding from 2 sets of people. One from clients who don't understand how the government department works, GST filing, income tax filing, and from the government departments who don't understand how the business works. In between, CA is a sandwich, and therefore you get paid for it. So is there a profession where you can scold somebody and get paid for it? You know the answer yourself. So teaching is the only profession which gives that opportunity. On a serious note, the reason why I have chosen teaching field, because yes. Thank you so much. So teaching field, because this requires me to learn continuously. Learning not only related to the subject, it is also towards lot more other things. And teaching is what gives me that opportunity. It makes me learn on a continuous basis, and that's why I have chosen this subject. Albert Einstein says that if you cannot explain your idea to a 6-year-old in such a way, that child can explain to another child. If you cannot explain, it means you have not understood. It's as simple as that. So if I am not able to make you understand, for my first session I am telling, yes please, in case you are not able to understand any topic, it is not your problem, it is my problem. You are not understanding problem, section, case study, balance sheet, total not happening, you are not able to get any conceptual clarity. If that is happening, that is a teacher's responsibility. I am accepting from day one. And what is your responsibilities? If you don't understand, you have to ask. And that is the biggest advantage of having face-to-face class. YouTube, so many videos are available. Online, you can watch, so many things is already there. What is the point in paying fees and coming to class is because we should have discussions and interactions. It is not, I keep on talking from morning to evening and you keep on sleeping from morning to evening. That is not going to serve the purpose. So, my request is you ask questions, and that's what makes me enjoy the class more, and that is the reason why I have selected this profession. The more questions you ask, the more I enjoy the class. And I know some faculties would face like this because I have witnessed that. In the first class, every faculty says, ask any doubts. Then when you ask doubts, they'll be like, what? This also you don't know. What were you doing when I was explaining that concept? All these reactions I have seen. Keeping all aside, even if you ask 10 times, it is my responsibility to repeat. So, conceptual understanding is your responsibility as well as my responsibility. I will explain, but you have to ask. I will explain the concepts, but the more you ask, I will be able to explain it more clearly. The reason, again, I got this through experience only. I took CA Foundation one class for mathematics. You know, MATHS, maths, mentally affected teacher harassing students, MATHS. So, I took maths class, I teach maths and stats. I taught one session, then I took the feedback. The feedback was like this. This was my first class after having the corporate experience, having that academic background. The teaching for me, I took the first class for maths. So, the feedback was like this. Your class was amazing, but we have not understood anything. No, that's where the conflict realizes me that teaching is not about just telling whatever I know, nor about just covering the syllabus. It's about making you understand what you don't know, and in that process I will also learn so many other things. You believe it or not, I felt I knew the subject, but every time I teach, I learn so much about the subject. That's what I would say. The best way to learn is teach, and the best way to teach is learn. They are two sides of same coin. That's what is helping me out. And we will be having continuous classes from morning to evening. At least in your regular class, you have different faculty face. You have to bear for 40, 50 minutes, 1 hour at least, okay. Some other face will come. You have some change at least. But in classes, morning to evening, I have to see your face, you have to see my face. So, I will try to tell some jokes in between. Try to laugh at it. It is my suggestion, not a recommendation, not a compulsion. Because I used to tell in my earlier classes, okay, now I will tell one joke. Then students told me the feedback. So, you don't announce that it is a joke or not. If it is a joke, we will laugh at it, otherwise we don't. Why should you announce, then nobody laughs? It becomes an RCB situation where every time we say this time new chapter, it is same as old chapter. So, I don't want to go to that announcing it as joke. And also a recommendation, suggestion that at this age, you have to laugh as much as possible. If you don't, towards your subsequent part of the life, you are forced to laugh. I don't know if you have a park nearby, morning 6:30, 6 o'clock, if you go for walking, there will be some laughing clubs. They are forced to laugh. Laugh, ha, 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 ha. No, now stop, laugh again. You come to Bangalore and any city you observe, because that is one of the therapy which doctors suggest, and when they were at young stage, they will be like, why should I laugh? Is this joke? This and all is comedy show. Like, people do have comment on joke also. Joke is not supposed to have any logic, but we try to find logic over there. So, if you have an opportunity, laugh at it, but when I am explaining the concepts and all, don't laugh. It is not good for me. I will not be using any complicated English for the simple reason I don't know the complicated English. I will use complicated English only when I don't know the concept. So how do I confuse you? How do I make you think I know something? I'll tell something which you don't know. I'll use some English words like Shashi Tharoor, where you need dictionary to understand. If I use those words, you will feel like, oh, this person knows something different. So I'll be using very basic, simple English. I hope everybody able to understand. But definitely, I am from Kannada medium. Till 7th standard, I was in Kannada. Then I shifted to English. So I understand the journey of translation. But even then, in class, I make a point. I speak in English. It is painful for you, some of you, because maybe you are used to speaking Kannada. I am not degrading it. If you are asking doubts, you can still ask in the Kannada. Completely open, completely fine. But I'll try to make sure that I'll be conveying the things in English, because your exam happens in English, for that simple reason. So as I told you, as much as possible, I want to make the classes more interactive. It should not be a teaching learning session, it should be a discussion session. So in my classes now onwards, be prepared. Each one of you have to speak. When I say each one of you have to speak, does not mean you have to come stand here and speak. Some of you may be comfortable, some of you are not. I am okay with both. But I want you to interact. I want you to speak out. I will give an example. When we go for the sessions, we will discuss. My main point is, we are going to learn lot of chapters, topics. You know those topics, but you don't know that you know it. Speaking like Upendra, no? You understand, but you are not able to understand. My point is, you know the subject, but you are not able to just connect it. You know the concept, you are not connecting it to the subject in the syllabus. That's the bridge I would like to build. Okay, so that is what I just wanted to cover quickly. And I will be using the slides. So I will be writing it here, because I have got one of the greatest handwriting in the world, which everybody cannot understand. Some people call it should not be handwriting, it should be modern art kept in exhibitions. So I don't want to give that surprises, so I try to use as much as the computer itself. So that problem is solved for me. But here and there I will write, so that you also should understand that how that handwriting will look like. Otherwise, it will be mostly on presentations. So in case if you are going fast on some topic, like some problems we are doing, I would like to make sure we will spend more time on discussion, not on just writing. So in case I am writing it fast or things coming fast, you slow down, you don't write it. Anyway, solutions will be there on the slides. My number is there, my email ID is there. You just send me a message, that screenshot, I will send it to you. You can copy it later. Don't do for all the class, don't do for all the problems, but for some problems, if you feel that I am going at a speed, which I should do because we also have a time constraint, but if you feel you are not able to write it down, then don't write it for that problem. Listen, understand, ask doubts, have discussion, then I will share the things with you later, you can copy it down, or I can share this in a PDF format later, you can copy it down, but all of them will not be there. But if you feel somewhere that writing is slowing you down, you stop writing and listen more. That is my request. Okay, little bit about your life, then I will give time for you to introduce yourself. This is how a typical CA life is. During registration or when you start, and how will happen when you move further. One important thing I want to discuss, many people realize it later. What is the passing mark in the subject, let's say talk about my subject accounting, advanced accounting. What is the passing mark? How much? 40. Okay. So does it mean if I score more, 41, it is pass? Next time I need not write that exam? $41, still I may have to write next exam, I don't know. 41 also may be failures. Is 39 failures? Yes, that is definitely for sure. Okay, then how much marks where you tell I have passed accounting subject? 60. So anything more than 60 is definitely pass? Okay, less than 60 is definitely fail? You understand the meaning of passing mark, right? It's like a boundary. You cross, pass, not cross, not pass, fail, simple. Now give me that number. If you cross, that is pass. If you don't cross, that is fail. So less than 60 is fail. 59. Passing mark tara, other passing mark alla. The problem with the CA exam starts from this. Forget about the subject name, balance sheet, ledger account, journal entries. We'll come to all those. First, let's get a clarity on this. How much marks if I get? I said to have passed the exam. Or if I don't score that, I'll be failed. All I'll say like this. Two friends were there. One friend scored 41, other friend scored 59. So in this, who would have passed the exam? A person scored 41 failed, person scored 59 passed. Possible? 41 pass, 59 fail. Possible. So if you aggregate that situations are there, so it is possible. It's very realistic situation, and let me tell you, that's what is there in real life also. Keeping aside the numbers, in real life also you will see that I have scored well in class. How come this person is successful? I have done all the well, but other person is, I have all the resources, I am more intelligent. How come other person who just passed is making more money than me? It is definitely is the reality of life. Anyway, those things will take it little later. So this is because of the concept of aggregates. Okay, let me talk about aggregates quickly. We have 6 subjects in the intermediate. Each subject you have to score 40 marks. So 40 into 6. It should be 240, but institute expects it has to be at least 300. So 240 to 300 is the gap. If you don't do it, that's what we say, there is aggregate shortage. This is a very common phenomenon. It used to happen, it is happening, it will happen. One of my friend in my intermediate days, result came, the intermediate IPCC result came, he called his parents and told, I cleared all 6 subjects. Parents were very happy. Then he told, next time I should write all 6 again. Normal human being cannot understand this. The reason is because of aggregate. It happens in inter, it also happens in final, it also happens in foundation. Foundation you will not know the breakup sometimes, so you may not know details. So what is the reason, or how do we face it? People think it will happen. The thing is, it will not happen automatically. Or if I say like this, see if you are able to understand. Passing a subject and passing exam are not same. 59 you may have passed that subject, but total you may not have crossed 300. So how do we do it? My suggestion is, out of 6 subjects you have, maybe 1 or 2 you have to give extra interest beyond class, beyond examination. For example, if your subject what you like is, let's say, GST, then you should not just limit yourself to the book. You go and see what are the videos available, what are the latest case studies coming in, whatever newspaper says, can I apply GST over there? Have you paid GST while joining the classes? You paid fees for sure, but is it including GST or not? You, as a general thing, you don't have to do it, but if you are interested in that subject, you have to know more about it. Only then you can expect 60 plus, 70 plus and 80 plus. So, one subject you get 80, that will help you balance out the aggregate, and that one subject will not happen automatically. You have to work towards it. It will not happen by chance. And don't be so optimistic and say, no, why not one subject? I will do all 6 subjects 80 plus. I will work like this, full motivation. Anything is possible, everything is possible. I will score all subjects 80 plus, 90 plus. In CA exams, that is not possible. If you try to score all subjects 90 plus, maybe you can have a bed in the mental hospital. It is humanly impossible to score 90 plus in all 6 subjects because it requires so much of efforts, and the moment you focus on one, automatically other will get reduced. So, choose one subject or 2 subjects where you can have higher marks. You cannot do for all 6 subjects. That is what I have chosen. I am good with numbers, data. So, I have selected accounting and costing and financial management, and that is where I got marks, and that is where till today I am living life out of it. I am teaching accounts, I am doing accountancy, I am doing data analysis. So, your strength, you try to know yourself. You will not get instantly, but as the class happens, ask yourself which subject you have an extra interest and extra knowledge. There you can expand it further, and then once you pass the exam, in real life also you can continue it. Even if you do not pass the exam, that knowledge will always help you. A normal, ordinary, everybody will have. So, if you want to have that extra, you need to learn little bit extra over there. So, the point I am trying to cover here is, choose one subject or 2 subjects and spend extra time on it. That will help you getting the extra marks of 60 plus, 70 plus, and come out of your mindset of your regular exams. I do not know if you are still in that regular mindset exam, 95, 99, if I score 1 marks whole day I will cry. If you start doing for that, then throughout your life you will be crying only. In CA exam, we do not even look at 99 marks. Some people even do not know that it is for 100 marks, because we are okay with getting 60 plus, 50 plus, we are satisfied. On the other hand, that is an advantage for you. So far in your life, even now I think to an extent, you have burden. I have to score marks, I have to get seat, I have to get more than my competitor. CA nothing, you pass, sufficient. That is the biggest advantage this course has given to me. No pressure of getting first rank, second rank, no pressure of getting higher marks than friends, relatives. So, when relatives ask how much marks, no one will ask you how much marks you scored in CA exams. You cleared, you pass or not. As simple as that. This advantage you have to make use of. That is the institute is giving that, make use of it. Okay, going further. This is one more thing I have observed. In classes, everything is fine. Somehow in examination, the role will get reversed, especially when you see the question paper. So, in class, things are simple, so easy, smooth. In examination, what subject is this? What topic is this? That is because, I always say this, that in classroom is like film theater. No projector is there, you are sitting enjoying somebody else's performance. Film theatre is that you go and sit, enjoy the performance and comment on that. You don't have any responsibility after that. But examination is not film theatre, examination is operation theatre. Anesthesia called as question paper will be there, and patient called as student will be there, surgeon is institute. Examination you don't feel anything because anesthesia is there. No, anesthesia is there means pain will not happen. When you come out of exam hall, you start discussing with your friends. How much is balance sheet total? Someone will say 7,20,000. Other person will say no 6,90,000, and you will be like 14,05,000. You are not even participating in that discussion. So film theatre to operation theatre, the classroom to examination. The main difference I feel is when somebody teaches in class, you learn only that. You don't go beyond it. You don't learn the concept. You just restrict yourself for that particular problem. And if that problem comes, you pass the exam. So that is the main reason. So to make you understand what is this conceptual learning means, I'll just do one small exercise. What is the meaning of this conceptual explanation? Okay, let me do two exercises on that. What is the most famous formula ever in the history of mathematics? I am sure everyone would have learned by hearted this formula. A plus B whole square. I am sure most of you at least would be heard of it. A plus B whole square. And the formula we say it is A square plus B square plus 2AB. Okay, this is the formula that is required. Now, if I say conceptual understanding, it goes like this. A plus B whole square, right? So, I draw line like this. Assume it is a line. Difficult to write it. And this is of the length A plus B. This length is A plus B. I will draw a square because A plus B whole square. So, I draw a square. Okay, it's just assume it is a square again. I am not good at drawings, but if I start writing something, it becomes drawing. So, assume it is a square. And in exam, don't write square like this and all, just for conceptual purpose. Okay. Now, square A plus B horizontally, I will also write it vertically, A plus B. Now, how do you find out area of a shape? For example, if it is 30-40 site, how many square feet we say? 30 into 40, 1200. We multiply. So, we have A on one side, A on other side. This is A and this is B. So, A into A, this area becomes A square. And here we have B and A. If I multiply, it becomes AB. And here we have B and A. When I multiply, it becomes AB. And B here becomes B square. Now, add all. A square is there once, B square is there once, AB is there 2 times. That is the concept behind that formula. At the same time, remembering formula is also important. In exam question, every time you can't draw the square and keep deriving the formula, but you should know that when you read a formula, there is a concept behind it. Only then you will be able to appreciate the concept and remember it better. I hope going forward, when somebody say A plus B whole square, to your mind that formula should not come, that square should come conceptually. Okay. Let me do one more small experiment. I will try. I am not sure whether I can do it or not. It is kind of magic trick. I will just give a try. Just come, any 3 of you come. I just want you to pick a card. Just 3 of you come. Any 3 of you. One from there, one from here, one from here. Just come. Just one card. I would have come, but I am recording, so I am not able to do it. Just pick one card. Yeah, just keep it. Don't show it. I'll take it back also. Sit. You also pick one card. Just one card. Again, I am just giving a try. I am not sure it works or not. Just you also pick one card. Yeah, just keep it with you. I'll take it back. Now, somebody from the back side, you give me any 3-digit number. Any 3-digit number you give me. Don't have repetition. 300 means 00 is coming. 113, that 11 should not come. Without repetition, give me 3-digit number. Any 3-digit number you give. 3-digit number, simple. 45, 420. Yeah. I have done this exercise quite a few times, so as I know those numbers coming. 420 is one popular number. 143 is another popular number. 100 is another popular number. But anyway, let's say 420. Reverse these numbers. 0 to 4. Find out the difference. Just take the calculator and find out. $396 and find out the difference again. I mean, reverse it. 396 reverse 693. Now those two numbers add. 396 and 693. How much you get? 1089. Okay, I'll just collect the cards back. What cards you have selected? Yes, this is 10 and this is 9 and this is 8. So that's how you got 1089. Okay, we'll move to the subject now. How? Show this curiosity in classes also. I'll explain this, but I really wish this kind of curiosity, interest is there in all the problem, section number, case studies and accounting standards we learn. Okay, before I explain, you give me one more 3-digit word without repetition. Okay, we'll take your favorite only, 143 only we'll take it. And I'll do the same process. 341. Find out the difference. 198. Minus you ignore as of now. Then reverse 891. Add the two numbers. 1089. You try one more number just for yourself, same process. Take the number, reverse it, difference, reverse it, add. Without repetition, any 3-digit number you try. Hope you are getting 1089, same number. So without even explaining, you got the answer that any 3-digit number you take, answer is 1089. That's the power of practice. Repetition. Without any concept, if you find it hard in your preparation for exams, I am telling, applicable for life also, if you are finding it anything difficult, one particular variety, just repeatedly do the same problem, same variety of problem, you will be able to follow it. That is the power our brain has been working. That's the nature of human neural network. If I tell all these things, it looks like something great. Simple words, repetition. Practice again and again, repeat the same thing. If you are not able to understand, not able to do it, just repeat once more. If you are riding bicycle, on first day only did you got the balance, cycle balance? No, you have practice so many times. Same thing with subject. You are learning, first time it won't come. Whether it is English or subject or accounting, anything. First time it may not come, but you don't stop it. Repeatedly do it. That's what I wanted to prove with that exercise. Repetition or practice will help you there. Then coming to how come they have selected 10 only and she selected 8 and she selected 9. That comes from little bit of preparation. I showed you full pack of cards. I showed you the full, but when I offered them, I said take one from this. I showed 4 and take one from this. All 4 were same. All next 4 were same. All next 4 were same. In a pack of cards, each number will be there 4 times. 4 varieties will be there. So out of 4, whichever they selected, it is 10, it is 8, it is 9. That is to say preparation. So on outside, you feel it's a magic. The back end, it is a combination of 2 things. One, it is practice. Other, it is preparation. So when you see it in life, somebody may be successful, rich, you can say they are lucky enough or they got opportunity, they are somehow magical. No, it did not happen. They did work on these 2 things. They did practice and they are prepared. So the famous example is Rajnikant, who is a bus conductor, is a superstar. Whole world talks about him. And it did not happen instantly. You can say luck or you can say wonder or magic, but even when he was a bus conductor, he was just not giving tickets. He went to the institute and start learning, and from there he got the opportunity. You have to make the effort. You have to practice and you have to prepare. If you can do these 2 things, just practice the same problems, prepare yourself with the concepts. Any exam, I think CA exams and all is very small to the capacity you are having. I am telling you to each and every one of you. Some of you may have got lower marks, higher marks so far. In CA exam, nothing matters. And I have seen so many people, I have witnessed so many students. In second PUC, they have got like some 60-70%. In CA, they got good marks. I have seen some people scoring 95 plus, 98 plus in PUC. I have seen them failing in CA exam as well. And after that, both of them cleared the exams in CA by putting the efforts. Your marks is not asked. Your caste, your religion, your knowledge is nothing of them is asked in CA exams. It is impartial. Everybody is same. You put the efforts, you prepare, you practice, you get the results. So if you have any inferiority complex, you don't know English, you have less marks, you don't have financial support at home, nothing matters. If it is there in your mind, you can definitely do it. It is possible to each and every one of you. Just follow these 2 things. Practice, prepare. Practice, prepare. And for not only for this, it's applicable throughout your life. Once you pass, whether it is just BCom, even in that sense, you have to work in a company. You have to present to the clients. You have to go out of the world and speak. Even in front of your family relatives. If you want to present something, prepare and go. Don't go without preparation. Preparation will give you so much of confidence which you cannot think of. So anything you feel short of, you work on it, you will be able to get it. And that is I am telling from my personal experience. When I shifted from Kannada medium to English medium, I was so forceful that I will go back to Kannada medium. I cannot handle English because when I was sitting in a class, when somebody is speaking English, only sound used to come to my ears. Words were not coming because I am not able to understand the head and tail. But I forced upon myself, but those difficulties only will make you as a better person. I am not telling philosophically here, I am talking with logic. When in class, my teacher used to tell, I used to get always the top rank in the class. So my teacher used to say, I don't worry about the people who score less marks. I only worried about the people who score always high marks. Why? Because in some exam, in life, if they score less, they cannot take it. But people who are average, below average, they have seen more, so they can absorb failure. So more success comes from more failures. Only in examination, you can always be first. In life, it will not be. You always have to maintain the balance. Okay, too much of extra gyan, not good for health, but can't avoid. I will be keep sharing this. I feel that is my responsibility to share whatever I know. Whether to take it or not is in your hands. Okay, let's go further. Okay, throughout your CA preparation career, maybe after that also, remember this sentence: heated gold becomes ornament. You know, right? Heated gold. The gold, when it's heated, then you make different kinds of rings and ornaments. Beaten copper is called as wire. Compressed carbon is called as diamond. Heated, beaten and compressed person is called as chartered accountants. Heated gold becomes ornament, tortured student becomes chartered accountant. No exceptions, no exemptions. You will feel tired, you will feel frustrated, you will feel like my friend who is not doing CA, their life is very nice. I am struggling here. After struggling, I am not sure whether I will pass the exam or not. You will become philosophical. What I am doing in my life? Who am I? What is the purpose of my life? All these thoughts will come. Because when I am teaching something, you are not able to understand the concepts, you can't go out of the class because it's too hot outside. It's better to sit in the class itself. You will think, the idle mind, what I am doing, what is the purpose of life. You become Swamiji and all there. But remember these three sentences. One thing I can assure you, after the CA classes, you will be a better person in terms of experience. You have knowledge of so much of other areas than a person who have not tried this. I really wish each one of you should pass, and I know you are capable of doing it. You just have to put the efforts. But I can promise you, you are definitely a better person than the person who have not even tried. I just tell with one point, then I'll go further. If there is a race, a rat race, and in that race, who comes first? What do we call that first as? A rat winner. Still a rat. If you are in a tiger race, what do you call which comes on the last? Still a tiger, maybe lost, still a tiger. So what is important is not whether first or last, which race you are part of. You may say RCB is what kind of people they are. They don't even know to play one ball also, but they get paid crores for it. But whether they win or lose, we don't get anything. But we feel that we are the winner. They are just feelings. So what is important is whether not winning or losing, which race you are part of. Losing a local match versus losing RCB match, still that is better. So it's not about winning and losing, which race you are part of. So you are part of the CA course at any cost. My only request, sincere request is don't give up. Because it will not cost you anything. The classes are there for help purpose. It is not mandatory. You can learn yourself. I am just telling you that in case you are not able to do it, in case you have to give it up, but please don't quit the course. You may do it at different levels. This is one opportunity only this course can give you, and that course will be with you throughout your life. I don't want to go further, but that's my sincere request. Okay. That is about myself. Now, to go to the subject name is advanced accounting. So, before we go to the accounting, advanced accounting, you should know what are the basics of accounting. Now, I want to hear from you, what is the meaning of accounting or what is the importance of accounting. I want each one of you express your opinion about accounting. Each one of you will talk, but one condition: the second person should not repeat what first person have told, and third person should not repeat the previous two persons. So, no repetition. So, when somebody else is talking, you have to pay attention because you have to tell something unique. So, who want to go first? It is a process. Okay, it is not just end results. It's a series of process. Okay. Yes, sorry. First, you tell your name. Chinmay. Yes. Sit and speak. Feel comfortable. Don't treat me like any other faculty. At the same time, don't treat me like close friends, machakam and all. Don't tell. You can call me my name. It's fine. But don't be too tensed in class. Be relaxed. We need that mind relaxation to understand the concepts. I will be doing one new concept this time. I have not done in any of my classes. I will be doing first time here. That is, every 1 hour, I want to give a sleeping break. Not forever. I know during class also some people might be sleeping. You have the art of opening your eyes and sleeping. I know that. But somewhere I have learned, I will be doing research on about teaching, effectiveness of learning, how to learn, all those things. So, where I have learned, I don't know useful or not, if you can give your brain a rest, that repetition power is more. I don't know, but I just want you to experiment, and hardly takes 5 minutes. So, every 1 hour we will have 1 hour sleeping break, where it's not break, you don't go outside and you speak, and that is not called as a brain rest. So, 1 hour you will all be closing your eyes wherever you are sitting and you sleep for 5 minutes. We will be doing it at least 1.5 hours, one session. This is the first time I want to try. We will see how the result goes. Yes, you are telling, continue. So, accounting is a process of recording. Recording of what? Recording of? That is most important. See, I came to class now. Is it recorded? I walked into the class. Will somebody recorded? Faculty entered the class. Recording of what? Transactions. What is a transaction then? There is exchange. So, now you are sitting in the class, I am speaking in the class. Is it a transaction? What exchange happening here? There has to be financial transaction where there has to be money involved. Okay. So, I take one point. Accounting is about recording of transactions. Okay. I take that one point. Next, anyone else? Anybody else want to go? Going first, you have an advantage because you can tell things fast. You can't repeat it. Keep that in mind. And everybody will have a chance. So, just want to know who can take that initiative. Yes. Amrita. Yes. Classifying the transactions. So, I go and have a tea in tea shop. I go and have coffee in coffee day. Are they same or are they different? Because you told classification, no? So, should I classify into tea transaction and coffee transaction? Okay. I'd still take your point. It is classification means, let's say, grouping of items. So, first point, so many transactions happens, and second point, okay, there is a grouping, there is a classification. Just to help you one more point, you need not tell only what is taught in class. You can tell that also. You can also go beyond and say what is the importance of accounting. If accounting was not there, what would have happened? Why accounting is more important? What is the objective? Any of these points also you can cover. But I want you to have one point from each one of you. So, I will take from Amrita, right? Classification. Okay, next. Anybody else? Raise your hand and you are good to go. Yes, your name? No, your name. Bhavana. Accounting is language of business. It's a very popular statement. I am glad you used it, otherwise I would have made use of that statement. Any idea who used this statement or who made this? Accounting is the language of business. It is made by a person called as Warren Buffett. You may not have heard of. He is an international famous billionaire investor. Like in India, you would have heard, I think, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Some of you at least. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is, in Indian mindset, we look up to him as he's a CA and he's a stock market investor and trader. In international, we look up to Warren Buffett, and he used this word because he analyzes companies. He looks and say, where should I put my money in? And he said, accounting is the language of business, which means if you want to understand what is happening in a company, you talk to a company. How do you talk? Not through verbal communication, not through email, by looking at their accounting. Accounting will speak. Accounting is the language. So, if you go to, let's say, Tamil Nadu, all boards will be in Tamil. You can't understand. Now, at that stage, you and a blind person both are same. You can see, but you can't make anything out of it. A blind person can't see it. So, their levels are same. So, accounting is the language, and you need to have your eyes to understand the company's position. Accounting gives that. If you don't have accounting knowledge, in my opinion, you are as good as a blind person who don't know how to understand a financial statements. Yes, accounting is the language of business. Yes, next. That's all about accounting. Classification, process of recording. Accounting is language of business. Sampath, yes. What is coming in and what is going out? So, that is a transactions only. No? Transactions may come in, a transaction resulting cash going out. So, it is a part of it. See if you can come up with anything else, otherwise I will take that as the part. Accounting is where balance sheet never tally but should always tally. That is how the practice in exam. Balance sheet will not be tallying, and in the exam you look at your friend and your friend will be already looking at you. Nangu gottilla, nandu tally agta illa. Yes, what else accounting is all about? You can say what does accounting comprise of? Anything of that sort. But if you tell me accounting includes accounting for depreciation, I will ask next question. Tell me about depreciation. So, be ready about it. Yes, anybody else? Yes, please. Your name? Kavana, yes. It acts as a recording event, or it acts as an evidence for, yeah, I can say like for, yeah, it supports certain decisions. It acts as a compliance. If somebody says I am following all the rules, then we say show me in your accounting, show me records of it. Okay, it acts as an evidence. You can say it acts as a supporting document. It helps in compliances. Okay, next. Very simple answers. What is the purpose of business? To make profit. Who will tell whether you made profit or not? Accounting only can tell you made profit or not. So you don't have to think anything supernatural. Think in simple words. I'm sure each one of you are able to come up with it. Many times you'll be like, I knew this, but I could not tell. That's a gap between your mind and your tongue, converting your ideas in thoughts into words. But try to put an effort on that. Yes, please. Sai Varun, yes. Analyzing the results, yes, I definitely take it. Once accounting show you the results means profit or loss, then we can do analysis. Where the profit come from, what is the reason for profit, what is the reasons for loss, we can analyze those things. One of the popular edutech company as of now is Byju's. I hope many of you would have heard of it. Byju's is going to close down. Byju's will close down because they are suffering so much of losses. Any idea why Byju's are suffering losses? Very simple. They have taken loan and loan will have interest. You are not able to pay interest. Interest you are not able to pay loss. You keep on making losses. You have to close down the company. Same thing applicable to human life. You take loan. You are not able to pay rent. You are not able to pay interest. You are not able to repay loan. That's always a burden. So same thing is applicable there. So those things also will be taught by accounting. Okay. What else? Next. Yes, please. Harshita. Yeah. Both are covered. I want something new. Recording is covered. Interpreting is covered. Little bit beyond that. Okay. Summarizing transactions. I can take that. Once all different types of transactions and classification happens, we summarize, like we prepare trial balance. Trial balance is a summarized statement. Okay. Next. Think about it. I can also suggest something. If you want to write down something, you write down. In the sense, you are thinking so much, but you are not able to go further. Whatever comes to your mind, you write it down. Then again think. You may able to get some ideas. Whom does accounting help? What does accounting do? What does accounting does not do? Who do the accounting? If accounting was not there, what would have happened? Why accounting is important? To whom it is important? Think any of those lines. Yes. Shareholders, yes, can. Correct. Investors can make the decision by looking at the company's position, and company's position is taught or explained through financial statement. That is, accounting will tell whether company's position is strong or not. Users can make use of it. Yes, your name? Sanchana. Okay. Next. Yes, anybody else? Next, that's all. Accounting. Yes, please. Accounting has certain principles. Very good idea. Yes, very good point. Accounting cannot be done by any methods. Accounting has certain rules, certain principles, or you have golden rules of accounting. You have methods in accounting to be followed. Yes, point taken. Then evidence, yes, but I think she told that it does supports as evidence for compliance and for decision making. Evidence for what else? You can come up with few more things. You can say it acts as evidence for performance analysis. Like if you are telling this department head, if you make profit, it will give you bonus. So we can do the performance analysis of that particular department. Pay taxes to government. I really appreciate that. Very good point. Otherwise I would have covered it. So I link these points now something with different thing. Have you heard of any country without taxes? Country where no tax is there. Dubai used to be a tax-free country. Why people used to go to Dubai? Because no tax. See how much your income? No tax. Very nice. But now in last 1 year, Dubai also introduced corporate tax, income tax they have introduced. So when they have introduced tax, there is a huge demand for CAs in Dubai. Why do you think there is a demand for CAs in Dubai? Suddenly, if you have to pay tax, tax is payable on profits, somebody should compute profits, and an accountant only can prepare profits, can prepare financial statements. Now the companies are looking for chartered accountants because their accounts were, nobody were serious. Anyway, no tax, no compliance. Nobody were serious about their financial statements. Now the taxes come, they have to maintain the records. There are rules, there are compliances. So for that, accountant is useful. So accounting is important for the purpose of tax. Okay, next. Let it take 2-3 minutes time, but I want you to think what else it can be.
Accounting is important to
Value the companies.
to get the valuation.
To get the valuation. Yeah, maybe slightly higher level for you, but I still accept it. For the purpose of valuation of companies, for mergers, acquisitions, for takeovers, demergers, accounting will act as the base. Correct. Yes, please. We can classify the income and expenses. Yes, we can do more analysis of accounting. I would still say it is within the purview of classification result, but I still take it. We can divide this into income and expense. Your name, sorry, not your name, Bindu. Yes, please. Financial decisions, yes, definitely agreed. Based on which department making profits, or should we take more loan or not loan, or should we go for different source of finance? Yes, we definitely make financial decisions based on the accounting as the base. Correct. Your name? Sorry? Nikhil. Okay. Okay, what else? That's all the purpose of accounting. You are becoming chartered accountants. If somebody talked about accounting, you should know 100 things. Yes, please.
Helps understand various criteria, compliance criteria which belong to so many compliances and companies that are affiliated based on the turnovers, based on the capital, based on the network.
The criteria can be verified through accounting. Yeah, a lot of applications are there in Companies Act, GST, where you cross certain turnover, GST registration is there. If you don't cross the turnover, then GST registration is not there. Correct. Okay, I'll give one small hint. See if you can try come up with that. Company wants to show more sales. They are keeping on showing sales after sales after sales. But actually they are not selling. Goods are not sold, but company is showing turnover after turnover. Where will you catch this? By looking at accounting. But what will you verify? In books you show sales. Sales is account. Inventory, but you don't connect inventory and sales. Now what journal entry you pass for sales? Cash to sales, but cash is not coming here. You are showing as credit sales. When it is credit sales, what entry do we pass? Debtor account to sales. Debtor to sales is the transaction for credit sales. So if you keep on doing credit sales without receiving money, which account will reflect this? Sales is higher. Corresponding to sales, cash should have been higher. Cash is not there. That will be reflected in debtors. So if debtors are increasing, it may reflect a fraud. You are just showing credit sales without actually there are any customers. So the debtors, if you focus, trade receivables is what we call. If you focus, if it is increasing without any limits, there might be a case of fraud. So accounting can also help you in fraud detection. Okay, any other thoughts? Okay, I think as of now it should be fine. We have covered few, but let me just quickly write the definition of what is given by AICPA, American Institute of Certified Public Accounts, AICPA. Write down together. Accounting is the art of recording. Okay, before I go further, let me first focus on the word art. Why accounting is an art? Accounting is art or science? It's commerce. It's not even art, it's not science. Accounting is commerce. But anyway, why we use the word accounting is an art? Art requires skill. Science also requires skill. Why I am not calling science of recording? Why I am using the word art? Approach. Science also has approaches, no? Application of what? Presentation, there is a rule. Debit, credit. You have asset, liability. There are formats. Where art is there. Maybe when we look at some students' answer book, it looks like art only, their balance sheet. What is an art? It is called as art and not science because there are more than one way of doing the same thing. So if I say movie is an art, which movie is correct movie? Is it comedy movies or is it crime movies? No, both are movies only. We can't say this is correct, this is wrong. Art means people can do it in two ways and both of them are correct. For example, what is the journal entry for auto charges paid? Auto charges account, debit to cash. Or can I say conveyance expenses account, debit to cash? Or if it is towards the salesman is using for traveling purpose, it might be salesman traveling expenses. All of them are correct. You can't say this is right and this is wrong. That's why you say art. Art has some sort of subjectivity involved. Every method is not same, and we don't say that there is only one method. There are multiple methods. All of them are correct. In depreciation, you would have learnt, I hope, straight line method of depreciation, return down value method of depreciation, many more. These two are popular. Which one is correct method? No, we have to use whichever is appropriate. There is nothing called as right and wrong. That is why it is called as art. The word art means there are multiple ways of doing same things. Okay. Recording you covered, classifying, summarizing in a significant manner. In a significant manner because we don't do 100% of the accounting. We can only do what is important, what is essential, what is significant. Significant means what is material for that business is concerned. I'll give an example. You will know this example anyways. Do you know difference between an asset and expense? Asset is an asset, expense is an expense. Asset is not expense, expense is not asset. Asset and expense are not same because expense and assets are not same. Beyond this, yes please.
Asset is also an expenditure. However, asset is something for which the benefit of which is not completely exhausted. Expense is something for which
Benefit is exhausted. So I will very closest definition for sure. I'll give some examples, then you try to tell me. I'll appreciate that. That is the right one. Bench, furnitures, asset. Projector, laptop, asset. You go in the lunch break, you go and have lunch, expense. You go to movie and watch, expense. So you know how to classify. It's not that you don't know. So asset is something which is benefit, we say economic benefits to be received. Laptop to be used in the future, machinery to be used for producing goods, projector to be used in the future. So what is yet to be used, I will call it as asset. Expense means it is no more benefit pending, benefit is already exhausted. Now tell me this, calculator. Your words are coming to assets, then going to expense, asset, expense. Calculator is an asset or expense? Asset. It is an asset because the benefit is yet to be received, it is to be used, but we don't show it as asset, we show it as expense because it is not material, it is not so much, it is not significant. For a laptop we have pen drive, or let us say hard disk. Pen drive is less cost, 1 terabyte hard disk costing 10,000 rupees. It is an asset because benefit yet to be used, but significant or not, that depends on company. For a company whose turnover is let us say 4-5 lakhs a year, that 10,000 is a good amount. For somebody is having 4-5 crores turnover, that is not significant. Significant is material depending on the company's financial position. So today class is till what time? Evening? Oh, 15. Can I extend by maybe 15-20 minutes? Can I extend by 1 hour? Don't worry, I just give an example. See, 15-20 minutes was not significant to you. 1 hour means you are thinking, sir, I have other commitments. Don't worry, we will not be doing it. Just an example I told you, that where some small number may not be significant, but if you extend further may be significant. Depends on the context again. If you are watching, you are spending time with friends, 1 more extra hour may not be material. You simply extend 1 hour. But in class, 1 hour means, or 1 hour means 60 minutes, so much of seconds. Okay. So, significance comes from the materiality, the importance. Okay. And in terms of money, that is only we can measure it, what is in money we can record, not beyond money, which are at least part of a financial character, and then later interpreting the results thereof. Okay, so this is the basic definition of accounting. So this is given by American CA. In India we have ICAI. In US we have American Institute of Certified Public Accounts. Here we say CA, there they call as CPE. Okay, so far do you have any questions from your side? Again, as I told you, don't have any hesitations whether to ask or not, and don't have idea like what will others think, what will others feel. Don't worry about others feeling and all. Nobody has enough time to think about others. You think about yourself is sufficient. Okay, let's go further. Before we discuss our subjects, I would like to spend little bit time on basics of accounts, because if you are not comfortable, I will have to cover that. So, what is the starting point in accounting? Any entry in accounting is called as a journal entry. And the basics of journal entry, we follow double entry system, debit, credit, and we follow 3 golden rules of accounting: debit what comes in, credit what goes out, debit the receiver, credit the giver, debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. So, those fundamental rules are required. We pass the journal entry, and then after journal entry we will be converting it to ledger accounts, and that's what actually journal is for recording, ledger is for classifying. And after preparing ledger balance, we will do, what do? We prepare trial balance, where we prepare list of debit items and credit items. From trial balance, we prepare statement of profit and loss, meaning including trading account. I am just calling as P&L. And trial balance, then we prepare a balance sheet. P&L comprises of income expense, so balance sheet asset and liabilities. Typically, all the nominal accounts will go to P&L. The real and personal assets and the individual persons, that go to balance sheet, and finally the balance sheet should be tallied. That is the flow of basic of accounting transactions. So if you have any basic doubt here, do you want me to explain anything on journal entry of regarding depreciation, inventory, or any of those concepts? If you are not clear, I would like to address it, because in the advanced accounting, your majority of the syllabus comprised of accounting standards, and accounting standards means how to prepare financial statements, how to prepare P&L balance sheet. So once you know how to prepare P&L balance sheet, then we can talk about accounting standards and rules applicable there. Okay, I'll ask few questions then. Salary paid, what is the journal entry we pass? Salary account debit to cash or maybe bank. Okay. Now for debit, we use the short form DR. My question is why? For credit, I understand CREDIT, credit CR, short form. For debit, where is R? Don't tell me debtor. No, I am not telling debtor, I am not telling debit. Debit, credit. In debit, where is R is my question. For rhyming word, credit CR, debit DR, rhyming it comes. Why do we use DR where there is no R in debit? Simple English only, this is not complicated. Debit, D-E-B-I-T, debit, that's all. Where is R there? It is because of the Latin word. What is that Latin word? Sir, Kannadane gottilla, in Latin word alla we have to think. But the basics of accounts comes from the Latins. The accounting was the father of accounting, whoever it is, we call, it was found in the year 14th century, where the history is there. I am not going towards it. It is of the Latin word debere and credit word credere. The credere became CR, debere became DR. So, it is not because of debit and credit, it is because of the Latin word. My point is, to the extent possible, try to ask why we do something like that. That will help you lot of your doubts. There is also theory there, I will repeat with you. If I ask you, today while coming to college, how many red cars you have seen? How many red cars? You will be like, sir, modle helidre nodkondu bartidde. So, if I told you earlier, before coming to the class, you would have counted. The same thing in life. Many things will pass. If you don't look for it, it will not come to you. Be it money, being famous, success, anything. And the purpose there plays an important role. So, what about whatever you are learning, if you can understand why and where, you will be able to understand better. Well, I'll give one more small different example. with whatever little exposure I have, little research I have done, I am sharing with you that. In our Hindu system, tradition is there, if you buy a new vehicle, either two-wheeler or four-wheeler, we run lemon over it, right? We put lemon and over it we go through with the vehicles. The problem is nobody asks why. Everybody is doing it, I will also do it. I try to do a little bit of research, I got it. If it is otherwise prove me wrong, I am ready to learn. What I learnt is this: before this vehicle came in, how we used to travel? Animals like horse, even donkeys also we used to use, we used to sit on it and move. So, because they are living animals, they used to get hurt because there were no roads. So, to prevent them from getting hurt, like an antiseptic, these lemons were used. The lemons, the citric acid acts like a medicine. It avoids septic being happening. So, we make the animals walk on it. So, when you travel, they are protected. It is in their interest, we take care of it. Now, we have a rubber tire for four-wheeler, two-wheeler, and we run over it. I am not denying that there are scientific reasons behind every tradition, but problem is we do not learn. In that process, the effectiveness of it will get lost. So, be it our subject, when I tell you this format or this account, these rules, accounting rules, or the traditions, try to ask to an extent possible why. Only then you will be able to appreciate those better and you will be able to practice it. If not, all those practice, any practice you do for the sake of doing it will go away for sure. To try to find out the reasons. Couple of more questions I will ask. We have golden rules of accounting: debit the receiver, credit the giver. My question: why not debit the giver, credit the receiver? You not got these kind of questions in class? Maybe you used to get this when you were very small. Then teacher would have told, no, don't ask questions, you are punished for asking questions, and from there you stopped asking questions. So, now even when the politicians rule on us, we do not ask questions. Those days Britishers were ruling on us, we do not ask questions. Our mindset is do not ask questions, get adjusted. Ask questions, only then you will be able to get the answers. Okay, I will just keep that on hold. You also should try to explore, not about me giving all the answers. One more small thing, we prepare P&L account, right? So, in the P&L account, what is the last line item? Net profit or net loss. How can I call profit and loss? It should be profit or loss. You can't get profit also, loss also. Either it is a profit or it is a loss. It should have been profit or loss statement. I will leave it with you that also. Let me come to balance sheet. What is the format of balance sheet? First we write liabilities, assets. Why not assets first, liabilities later? So, you do it, sir, but we will not get marks in examination. Nothing of that sort. I have seen international balance sheet for some companies where I think Germany or somewhere, their assets is first, liability later. In fact, in India, we are going to learn for companies, they do not prepare left right, they prepare top bottom, they form vertical format, they write liabilities first, assets later. There also, why not asset first, liability later? That is also there. When you come to CA final level, we have IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards, where assets we write first, liability we write later. So, you have to come out of this mindset of this rigid thinking. You have to think freely. Okay. I will try to ask one general knowledge question. So, you have seen the roads, any roads in India, left we go and right we come back. Why not reverse? We go everywhere. India is different country. We go 360 degree. But I am talking as a rules. In Dubai, in US, they go on right and come on left. Don't go and tell them you are violating traffic rules. That is being adjusted for this reason. If you go to UK, it is like what we have in India. The reason is we were ruled by British. British always had this thinking of we have to be different. So you go to UK there, they go on left and come on right side. And that's, we were a colony and we are like this, Sri Lanka is like this, whoever is a colony of British are following the left and right. So if you focus each and every decision you do, act you do, there is a reason behind it. If you can focus on that, you will be able to appreciate the treatment also better. So the reason why I told all these things, because I am going to teach you accounting standards. As per accounting standards, only this is followed. You should not say, oh, accounting standard says I'll follow it. Ask why. Why not follow like this? Okay, let me give one more example. You had inventory valuation. What are the methods of inventory valuation? FIFO method, first in, first out. LIFO method, last in, first out. Weighted average cost method, simple average cost method. Now you have many more. As per accounting standard, LIFO is not allowed. I will discuss later why LIFO is not allowed, but as per accounting standard, LIFO is not allowed. So when accounting standards say LIFO is not allowed, you should not say LIFO is illegal. In real life, LIFO may be more relevant in some places. See, for example, you are standing in a queue for film theatre, film tickets. First in, first out is important. Whoever comes first should given the first ticket first. Now imagine you go to hotel. You ask a supplier, what is there? He will tell you, this idli, what are just made fresh. You will be like, no. I believe in first in, first out. What is prepared today, yesterday, first what is prepared, give me that. I believe in FIFO method. Different places, different methods can be adopted, but for certain reasons, accounting standards will say LIFO is not followed because there is a income tax reason behind it. They want to make sure that whatever accounted first should be cleared in the books of accounts. They don't want latest one to come in front. Does not mean the LIFO method is illegal. One more example also I will give you. I could have given later, but I will still give you anyways. Accounting standard 2 says we should do valuation like this, we will do those things. But it says livestock like animals are outside the scope of accounting standards. Livestock like dairy farming, cows are there, poultry farming, chickens are there. We don't do accounting standards for them. That's what standard says. We can remember like that. If any question is asked in exam, we can say accounting standards not applicable because it belongs to livestock. Livestocks are not covered under accounting standards. Examination you get marks. But why? I will give an example. In a dairy farming, beginning there are 100 cows. During the year, they purchased 10 cows and sold 10 cows. 100 was their beginning, 10 they purchased, 10 they sold, year end there is 102 cows. Possible? 100 was there, 10 purchased, 10 sold, but 102 is there at the end. So 2 extra cows were born during the year. How do you say what is the cost of that? First in, first out. Lost in, first out. From where did it come? You cannot calculate the cost. You go on hotel and you purchase one plate masala dosa, you say, oh, 30 rupees masala dosa cost. For the cost of the newly born cow, what is the cost of it? Humans cannot calculate. It's part of natural process, reproduction. So those things are outside accounting standards. That is the reason why they kept it outside. So when we learn something, it is important Why is that treatment, not just how. How will help you in exam. You solve the problem, you get marks. But why will give you that conceptual clarity and confidence. So focus on that why more. You would have learned, but I still repeat, any expenses incurred on purchase of the asset, like wages on installation of machinery, is an expense or is it added to the value of the asset? Expense incurred on acquisition of an asset is capitalized. It's a capital expenditure, but it's a revenue expenditure. It is capital expenditure because had we not purchased, that amount we would not have spent. Because we are acquiring machinery, we are spending traveling expenses. If you did not purchase machinery, the traveling expenses was not required. So it is attributable towards that. So these kind of why, try to think more, you will be able to get a conceptual clarity, and if possible, in life also ask more questions why. Maybe you will be able to make better decisions at home. Maybe our government also is better. We always blame our politicians. Government is not doing the things proper. They are corrupt politicians. They are not corrupt. They are one among us. If they are corrupt, they are our representatives. So we are also corrupt. So I always say this, the difference between a politician and a normal citizen is they have got the opportunity, so they have got corrupt. We have not got the opportunity. If we have got the opportunity, maybe we would have taken more money, who knows. So rather than just blaming, than just focusing on blaming others, try to ask more questions to understand, it will be better. Okay, so that is about the basics of accounts. What are the chapters you had in foundation, which, if I can assume, you know those basics? Basic P&L account, balance sheet preparation, that you are comfortable. Then depreciation accounting, that would be inventory also was there, types of inventory valuation. Yeah, I think then you have some special accounting and all that you leave it. Some share capital accounting, debenture accounting, you had all those things. Okay. Okay, if you have those basics is fine, share capital, debentures and all, but just because it was there, while solving problem, if I do something, if you don't understand, please ask. Even if it is basic, you don't have any mind block telling this is basic doubt, this is silly doubt, nothing like that. Because you are coming here, spending your time, you have to understand. So if anything you are not able to follow it, ask, I will definitely repeat. Okay, so I think we'll take a small break of 11:25 now, maybe let's meet 11:45. Yeah, take a break of 20 minutes and then we'll move further. Take a break of 20 minutes. Okay, let's move on. Let's take a quick look at the syllabus once and then we can go to the topic one by one. You will get the study material anyway from the institute, but I will be using my material. You will be given shortly. We will be using our material, but for the subject wise, for the topic, we'll just quickly go through this content. First chapter, Introduction to Accounting Standards. As I told you, your syllabus 90% is accounting standards. So there are prescription given, we have to follow it. Unlike your foundation where your a lot of formats were there or basic concepts like depreciation and inventory, we are not having that. Our area is focusing on accounting standards. So first chapter, Introduction to Accounting Standards, and third chapter, applicability of accounting standards. I will do together. Chapter 1, chapter 3, both are connected. So I will be doing it together. My material is combined. Then some framework for preparation and presentation. For example, what is the definition of an asset? Who are the users of accounts? So those basic definitions are given this chapter. Let's go to that is framework. Then chapter 4 onwards, your accounting standard starts. Presentation and disclosure based accounting standards. That is having like AS1, AS17, AS18 relating to certain presentation aspects. Calculations are not there, just the presentation, how it is to be shown. Asset based accounting standard, as the name suggests, inventory related, we have accounting standards to long term assets like machinery, building, we call it as a PPE, plant, property and equipment, that accounting standard. Intangible assets like goodwill, we have one more accounting standard. So all those assets related specifically are part of this. This is slightly heavy chapter, quite a few elements to be understood, but there are a lot of common aspects as well. Typically you have 30 accounting standards, actually 32, but approximately you can say 30 accounting standards, AS1, AS2, AS3, like that it goes. But we are not reading in that continuity. We are reading based on the concepts. All the assets related are in one place. Similarly, we have liabilities related. Liabilities may be like employee benefits liability, general provisions. So liability related standards. Certain items impacting financial statements, we have something like if there are foreign exchange transactions, dollars involved, euro involved, how the accounting will take place for that. Then we have revenue based accounting standards, typically AS9, AS7. So how the sales should be recognized. Other accounting standards like government grant, and then we have accounting standards for consolidated financial statements where we prepare plus holding and subsidiary together. This is a full-fledged problem will be there where they will be given a holding balance sheet, subsidiary balance sheet, you have to combine and prepare the consolidated one. This will be, can be asked for like 15 marks question and all. This chapter is a lengthy chapter. Others are all standards. This one is normal chapter like what you get. Then financial statement of companies. You have learnt in your foundation level how to prepare P&L balance sheet, maybe for a sole proprietorship or maybe for a partnership firm. Here we are going to learn for companies. So again, P&L balance sheet format is specific here. Then buyback is one particular area of problems. Amalgamation of companies, again a 16 marks question can be asked, which is when one company take over another company, how the accounting will happen. This is also a full-fledged chapter. Reconstruction of companies is when company is suffering losses, it has to reconstruct itself, come back with certain changes. That is also a full-fledged chapter. And accounting for branches, like your foundation, you might have accounting for joint venture, for maybe for consignment. You might have accounting. Here we have a special accounting called for branches. That's all the 15 chapters we have. This will be our target. So 70 to 80% of your syllabus, or if I include consolidation, amalgamation, 90% of your syllabus is on accounting standards. So our focus should be, what is the meaning of accounting standards? Who will issue accounting standards? And who should follow accounting standards? And then we can go one by one. Before we take up the topic, first the question paper pattern from the May 2024 onwards. So for you definitely this is applicable. They are following this 30-70 approach. 30 MCQ and 70 descriptive writing. This is not only for accounting paper. For all of your paper in intermediate, they adopt this approach. And when I say 30 MCQ, it does not mean 30 questions. It can be 15 questions of 2 marks each. Or it can be 30 questions of 1 mark each, that we don't know how they ask. So far, the format I have seen, it is 1 question, 2 marks. So 30 MCQ means, 30 marks means they will ask you 15 questions. And 15 questions will not be like a question, they will give you like a case study approach. Case study means they'll give you lot of irrelevant stuff. They'll tell you company is into ship manufacturing, they have units in Calcutta, they have tie up with so a lot of foreign countries, so full extra gyan they give. Then they'll ask the question. So you need to have that patience in the exams to read full story and then understand the question, the requirement. So the MCQ based question will not be like your foundation MCQ question. One question, then 4 choices. It will not be straightforward. They'll give you 1-page paragraph or 2-page paragraph, and then they'll ask maybe 5 questions based on that. Each question carry 2 marks. So something like that they'll ask. So be prepared. Don't get frightened. Don't be afraid if the question paper is consisting of so much of content, because so much stories will be there. You have to be ready for it. So case study approach, and then descriptive or normal. How you get the questions, that's how they're asking in examination also. So this is about the pattern. As of now, MCQ in intermediate don't have negative marks. As of now. In the future, I don't know. Because institute is one which is famous for changes. They don't keep anything constant. They say that constant is the only change, or change is the only constant. Everything changes. The subject will change, the syllabus will change, the format will change. So that one, be ready for it. And examination, how you approach CA exams from normal exams is different. Just to give a simple example, a cricket question, 1 over how many balls? 6 balls. You will get full marks in regular exam. CA exams, you get 0 marks. 1 over is not 6 balls, wrong answer. What is the right answer then? It is 1 ball, delivered 6 times. Then out of 10 marks, you get 2 marks. Then what is the full answer? It is 1 ball, delivered 6 times. But in a over where there are no balls and wides, there can be more than 6 deliveries. When a team batting second gets all out within a scheduled time, in that last over, there will be less than 6 deliveries. Or a team batting second reaches the target, in that last over, there can be case of less than 6 deliveries. In a situation where a ball is hit out of the ground and due to practical circumstances, ball cannot be taken back and umpire decides to substitute with a new ball, in such scenario, there will be more than 1 ball used in an over. If you give it, you get full-fledged answer. But unfortunately, you will get to know this only when institute releases answers later. Until then, it will be a question mark only. But my point is, you will get answer only if you write full answers. Partial answer, you will not expect marks. You may get, you may not get. Sometimes you will be right. Balance sheet not tallied, at least for something I have written, they might give you marks. Some examination they might do. Papa has written so much, let us give him some marks. That Papa and all is not there in CA exams. You get marks or you don't get marks. So that is why, in spite of you thinking that you will get marks, you will not in the CA examination. And one more thing, in CA exams, the question paper will not have the subject name. That paper heading, they will not write advanced accounting. They will not write direct tax, indirect tax. They will write some code, PTX, RTY, something, the code they will write. They will not have the question paper, the subject name on the question paper. So be careful there. That's one of the reasons, in my opinion, why examination people find it difficult, but not class they find it fine. Why? Because in class, any faculty comes and tells, this chapter let us do it today. Has any faculty came and starts speaking directly on without knowing which topic it is? At least they'll write the heading, no, today we'll write this chapter something. That's how you also read. If you read, hopefully, when you read, you open the book and say, today I will focus on financial statements of companies. But in exam, when you have a question paper, you don't have the background which chapter that question is. That is where exams becomes complicated. Like in cricket, imagine I'll tell you, batsman, I will bowl a bouncer now, please hit now. Of course the batsman will hit because he knows what is coming in. That's what happens in class. I'm telling you which topic I'm doing. That's what you are doing. You know which topic you are reading. But in exam, we don't know which topic it is. It comes completely out of randomness. So imagine you are standing in a road where which side the vehicles comes, you don't know. You have to look at 360 degrees. That's where examination becomes complicated. So try to have that in mind by solving concepts. Hopefully that should be more comfortable. Okay, so this is the question paper pattern. Let's move further on topics one by one. Okay, so let's now start with chapter 1, accounting standards. Before we start with accounting standards, let me give a small introduction. Let's say there is one small fruit vendor who purchases apples. He purchased one apple for 100 rupees. He purchased another apple for 105 rupees. He purchased another apple for 110 rupees. Then he sold one apple for 120 rupees. Now tell me, what is the profit by selling? Profit formula, you know, sales minus cost. So in this case, how much is profit? Sales is 120. Purchase price is 100. So 120 minus 100. So should I say profit is 20 rupees? Or should I say that we'll take average price? Opening 100, 100 plus 105 plus 110 by 3. Average is 105. So 120 minus 105, I get 15. Average cost. Or should I say, I take the last apple. Last apple cost is 110 and that is sold for 120. So 10 rupees the profit. Which profit is correct profit? Which one? 10. Shall we go for audience poll? Who will tell that 10 is the correct one? Which is correct profit? 10, 20 or 15? 15, 20. One thing let me tell you, don't change your answer based on my reaction. I'll give same shocking reaction for every answer. So don't based on my reaction, don't try to answer it. Which is the correct profit here? The answer is there is no correct profit. All are based on different methods of valuation. If I follow first in, first out, first what I purchased, its cost is 100, therefore 100 and 120, the difference is 20 rupees. If I follow first in, first out method, FIFO method. If I follow LIFO method, then the average cost method or LIFO method. Now, if I tell profit is, let's say 20 rupees, which method I followed here? First in, first out method. Now, I prepare P&L balance sheet, give it to my shareholders. How will shareholders know that this is based on FIFO method only? They will have some supernatural power. By looking at P&L, I know it is FIFO method. You should tell them. How do you tell them? You send a WhatsApp message. please make sure all your financial statements are FIFO basis. You send an email. No, we have to present it in our balance sheet P&L itself. They are called as notes to accounts. So apart from we prepare balance sheet, we prepare P&L, we also give notes to accounts where we mention what method we followed. So many methods. This one sample, like depreciation is one method. There also they have to tell which method they have followed. How do you calculate depreciation? You tell me, just for example purpose. Let's say, you know the formula for depreciation. Let's say straight line method. Are you aware of it? How to calculate depreciation? Cost of the asset minus scrap value or residual value divided by useful life. Okay. Now basically it means if I purchase asset for 1 lakh, useful life is 5 years, 1 lakh by 5, 20,000 per annum. Simple concept. My question is, how do you determine useful life? What is the useful life of let's say laptop? How many years the laptop will be used? You are looking at me like say it is your laptop, you should know. Like that you can't tell companies, no, it is your machinery, your personal matter. Like that you can't tell. How do you determine useful life? There are no rules. Whichever useful life you mention, put that in the financial statement notes to accounts. They will mention that computers have assumed to be useful life of how many years a laptop will come. I think maximum maybe 4 years, 4-5 years. Beyond that, it will not be in a proper condition. Let's say we'll talk about car. Will come for how many years? Of course, depends on how you use it. But if you say maybe let it come for 15 years. Building. How many years building will be there? As long as you don't destroy it, it will be there. No. Building, let's say it will be there for 20 years. Land. How many years land will be there? You purchase a land. What is the useful life? How many years land will be there? Land will always be there. That's why we can't charge depreciation. That's why we say land is non-depreciable assets, because we can't have useful life. Anyway, so whichever assumption you have, that should be reported. And this, we have various methods. All these are called as accounting principles, which are reflected in the form of accounting standards. So what and all are there in accounting standards? We have accounting standards. Then we have Indian accounting standards. Then what was there earlier then? That is accounting standard, this Indian accounting standards. Then what was the previous one then? That was accounting standards applicable to smaller companies. We will define who is a smaller company and what is a bigger company. Now, because of IFRS international pressure, we have come up with this Indian accounting standards. So basically now you think accounting standards applicable for small companies, Indian accounting standards applicable for big companies. As of now you remember like that. What is small, what is big, we will learn over the course of time. Then when you have doubts, we have something called as accounting and interpretation. We also have some guidance notes which talks on certain matters which are yet to become accounting standards. In discussion stage, they are ICA issues called as the guidance notes. We will write down in some time. Before that, let us discuss few more things. Okay. So what is an accounting standards is this. It is set of principles that is standardizes accounting practice. Okay, we will explain, then you can write down. We should discuss few accounting principles here. Many are there, I will discuss one. The most important one is, okay, before I tell the name, let's see, you can tell it. You know that in financial statements, we always calculate closing stock. How closing stock is treated, do you remember in financial statements? Where do we take closing stock? In the trading account, we write buy closing stock. Hope you remember it. We write buy closing stock in trading account, and in balance sheet, we write it as an asset, closing stock as an asset. My question is why? Why should there be a closing stock? Or if I don't take closing stock, if I ignore it, what is the mistake that I am committing? Or which accounting concept I am violating? Financial matching concept. Matching of what? Expense of current year and income of current year. Yeah, matching. I will slightly approve, say accrual concept is what I would like to connect more. Matching concept is also correct. I will say little bit of accrual concept. Okay, let me explain with the help of matching concept. During the year, let's say I purchase goods worth 10 lakh and I sell 70% for, let's say, 12 lakh. What is my sales in this example? I purchased goods worth 10 lakh, sold 70% of it, remaining is still with me, and I sold for 12 lakh. What is my sale value here? What is my revenue? 12 lakh. Question only has the answer. Why you are getting confused? I'll tell you when to get confused. Don't get confused on smaller thing. I've sold for 12 lakh, my revenue is 12 lakh. So sale value is 12 lakh. What is my cost? Can I say my purchase price is 10 lakhs? That is my cost. What is wrong? 70% means something what I have purchased, I have not sold. What is not sold is not my cost. I sold 70%, only 70% can be my corresponding cost. So 70% of 10 lakh becomes 7 lakh. 7 lakh is my cost of goods sold. Indirectly, I have used closing stock here. If I sell 70%, which means I have not sold 30%, that is 3 lakh is closing stock. So from 10 lakh, if I take out 3 lakh, remaining is what I get 7 lakh. So the purpose of closing stock is to follow the accounting principle of matching and accrual concept. What is accrual concept? Record the transactions as and when they are incurred, not when they are paid or received. Now it's the same thing. Sale 12 lakh. I sold on credit basis. So in that case, this sale will go to P&L or no? I sold the goods on credit basis. I have not collected the money yet. How much will go to P&L as sales? 12 lakhs. Does not matter whether you received the money or not. We follow accrual system. But that is the correct method, but dangerous method. Because you can show profit, but in your bank balance, money is not there. Otherwise, everybody can do the balance sheet. No. I'll also prepare my own accounts. I'll prepare sales, purchases. Anyway, bank balance I don't have to maintain. Anyway, that's a practical issue to face. As of now, the fundamental accounting ones, if I have to tell you, that is on matching principle and accrual principle. So what accounting principle I just told you is matching, but for valuing closing stock, you can follow FIFO method, you can follow average cost method. So that is what I am trying to make a standard here by setting a common accounting practice. We discussed at the beginning, accounting is an art. So everybody will follow their own arts. Then everybody prepare their own, then how can we make sense out of it? We need to have some common platform, some sort of standardization so that comparison is possible. That comparison rules, we call it as accounting standards. So accounting standards are set of principles that standardizes accounting practice. And accounting standards talk about mainly 4 things. Recognition. For example, carriage inwards. You know meaning of carriage inwards? The money spent on traveling, on purchase of goods. Is it a revenue expense or capital expense? Normally we say it is revenue expense. But what if it is for purchase of machinery, not goods? Capital. Somebody has to tell this. Accounting standards will give information on this. Since you have done GST, you have done the GST class, basic, input credit, output credit. I purchased goods, or let's say I purchased machinery worth 10 lakhs, on which GST is there. What is the regular GST rate? 18%. On 10 lakhs means 1,80,000. Now my question is, how much is the value of machinery now, which will go to balance sheet? Is it 10 lakh or 11,80,000? You understood my question? How much should be taken to balance sheet as a machinery on which we should charge depreciation also? What is the total value of machinery which I shouldn't take in balance sheet? 10 lakh or 11,80,000? 10 lakhs. $11,80,000. Okay, let's take the one situation. If ITC is available, ITC means input tax credit. No, I hope you know it. Because for outside people, ITC is different. ITC is this famous product. Meditation product. No, meditation product. Smoking is equal to meditation. What does they teach you in meditation? Take a deep breath and slow breath out. That's what they do in smoking. And I don't know if you know or not, if you smoke, you don't get aged. Studies have shown that. You don't know. If you are a smoker, regular smoker, you don't get aged. You die at the young age only. No. So where is the question of coming to old age? Don't take my sentence wrongly and start smoking after this. Huh? Okay. Input tax credit, if it is available. What is the meaning of input tax credit available? Against my output tax, this 1,80,000 I will subtract, which means I am making use of this. Then it is not part of the cost of the asset. All these things should be told by somebody. Accounting standard will tell it. Okay. Have you heard of intangible assets? What is a typical example for intangible assets? Goodwill. We have copyrights, softwares and so on. Let me take an example of goodwill. You have heard of iPhone, Apple phone. For one Apple phone, I think we get 3-4 Samsung phone, I think. That one iPhone. Is it so much valuable? If you look at iPhone, it does not have any great feature that other phone does not have. But why still people buy iPhones? Brand. It gives some feeling of prestige. I'm having iPhone. It's a feeling of pride. For that you pay for it. Which means the major contributor for Apple phone is brand than any other machinery. So where should Apple company should show the iPhone brand in their balance sheets? It should be shown under assets as intangible assets. But as per accounting standards, those should not be shown as assets. The reason is, what is the cost of laptop? I will know. When I go to the laptop, they'll give me the bill. I know the amount. What is the cost of the brand building? Can you tell? This much is the amount required to build a brand. You can't say. Or anyway, we'll come to that later. As per AS 26, internally generated brands cannot be recognized. Like this, we have rules. That is what focus on recognition. Many accounting standards focus on this. Then talking about measurements, like we talk about depreciation. How much is depreciation? Inventory valuation, what method you follow? The method of converting into numerical basis, measurement, accounting standards focus on this. Okay, let me give one small example. Suppose machinery, or let's say car, you purchased for 10 lakhs. Useful life is 10 years. No scrap value. Simple problem. What is depreciation per annum? $10 lakh divided by 10. I don't think you need calculator. I think if you use calculator, calculator will feel bad. 10 lakh by 10, you are using calculator. 1 lakh depreciation. Okay. 3 years over. What will be my book value now? When I purchased was 10 lakh. 1 year over, 1 year over, 1 year, 3 years over. So 3-year depreciation I would have charged. Means 3 lakh. So out of 10 lakh, 3 lakh depreciation are provided. What will be my remaining number? 7 lakh. No problem. Now, at the end of 3rd year, car met with an accident. And now its value will be not more than 2 lakh. Its value is very, very less now because it met with accident. Now tell me, from 4th year onwards, should I still charge depreciation? Because useful life is there, 10 years, but the value reduced suddenly because of event. So if you show depreciation, that is not correct, because depreciation assumes the car is in the same position. When suddenly accident happens, we have to account it somewhere. For that, there is an accounting standards called as AS 28, impairment of assets. We'll discuss how the accounting will take place. I'm just giving introduction of how the things will happen. That is on measurement. One more example I'll give you. Have you heard of gratuity? When an employee works for a company for, let's say, 10 years, when he leaves, employer is very happy and gives, thank you for leaving, take this money. Not like that. When the employee leaves the organization, he gets a lump sum. That's called as gratuity amount. That is an income for employee, expense for, income for employer, income for employee, expense for employer. My question is, when is this amount paid? When the employee is going out, when the employee is leaving the organization. At the 1st year, will you know how much amount to be payable at the end of 10th year? First of all, you don't know when the employee will leave. He may leave after 2 years, he may leave after 10th year. So you have to make a provision. You can't say, I'll wait for him to leave, then I'll make an expense. If you do, that becomes cash system, not accrual system. You have to make a provision based on when the employee is likely to leave. We don't know when he leaves, so we have to make an estimation. That's where the measurement, we have an accounting standard called as AS 15, talks about these situations. So that is measurement. Then I told you about presentation and disclosure. Presentation means where to disclose, and disclosure means, example I told you, useful life to be mentioned, FIFO method or average cost method, the method of inventory valuation should be mentioned. So those things are called as the disclosure points. So accounting standards can talk about all of them, or can be one of them. Okay. Then regarding the types of accounting standards are typically issued by ICAI. They are the authority for issuing accounting standards. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India issues us accounting standards. That is history before 1999. Now, those accounting standards are not relevant. Now, accounting standards are issued by MCA from the year 1999. Now, they have one more accounting standard which I told you, Indian accounting standards, which we call as Ind AS, applicable for big companies. I will tell you what is the meaning of big companies and all there. Okay, now before we go further and before you take it down, answer me this. We will be learning so many accounting standards. Who should follow these accounting standards? To whom it is applicable? It's applicable to all. It's applicable to business. Anybody who do business should follow this. Then can you go and tell the Golgappa fellow there, Kirana shop, and they'll show me your accounting standards. He'll ask you which brand you want. They will not know the meaning of accounting standards. Who should follow accounting standards? Accounting standards should be followed by, any idea? Who prepares accounting standards? As of now, I just told you who issues accounting standards. ICAI. Who are the members of ICAI? Chartered accountant. Chartered accountant should follow accounting standards. When a client comes to and say that please give me this balance sheet P&L, it is your responsibility to make sure the accounting standards are followed. That's what the situation. But MCA came in. MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So that is for whom Ministry of Corporate is applicable. For companies. Companies means companies registered under Companies Act. So for them, accounting standards are applicable. So for whom it's applicable, we'll come to the applicability, legal provisions. It is for members of ICAI. It's the second responsibility, and companies, corporates are the primary responsibility. Okay, you write down this much, then I'll tell few more sentences to be written on top of it. As of now, you write down this. Basics of accounting standards is the heading, then you write down this chart. The legal provisions, section 133 Companies Act. That is where MCA comes in. MCA means the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. MCA is Ministry of Corporate Affairs. CG means central government. And because it's issued by ICAI, auditor also have got responsibility. It is as per section 143(3). Okay, hope you written down till there. Okay. So the 4 areas of accounting standards: recognition, measurement. Recognition is whether to recognize or not. Measurement means how much. Presentation is where to disclose, and disclosure means what are the information to be disclosed. Presentation is where it is disclosed. Disclosure means additional qualitative points to be presented. Okay, I hope it is done. Any doubts, any question on that so far? Okay, so accounting standard, set of principles. They can ask us sometimes theory question also. What is the objective of accounting standards? Is for standardization, for disclosure requirements, things like that. You don't have to write it down. I'm just telling you for your reference. Don't write down those things. And one more suggestion from my side. When I'm explaining, don't write down. When you write, I will not explain. Let's have that agreement, because I suffered this in my classes. In my CA final, I remember in law class especially, I used to write down something. The faculty will be like, "What are you writing it down? Look at me." I used to look at him, then like, "What are you looking at me? Write down." So I always had that confusion what to do in class. So here let us have that agreement. If you are writing it down or if you're copying it, I'll wait. And if I'm explaining, then don't write it down, because both of them will not serve the purpose in that sense. So I'll tell you what to write down. Let's focus only on that, because anyway material is there. You can always read. Let's write only what is essential that needs to be revised on day before exam. Accounting standards. I'll quickly run through this. This all is not to be given much of importance. How the accounting standard is set. Institute will first find an area. For example, you heard of ESOP, employee stock option plan. If you are part of the company, you might get some shares. How to do accounting? We don't have accounting standards. They are in the process of coming up with an accounting standard for that. Now you know cryptocurrency, blockchain. You have this Bitcoin. How to, first of all, Bitcoin, is it a currency or is it an investment? Investment, but you're telling Bitcoin. So we have those confusion now still. So accounting wise, those areas don't have clarity. So first you identify the area in which requires clarification, and then there will be a group being formed comprising of industry representatives, CAs, CS, CMAs, lawyers. A group will be formed by the government. Draft will be prepared, exposure drafts will be prepared, that will be available on our institute website. If you go to our institute website ica.org, lot of draft will be there. People can put comment. So you get various views. Exposure draft again will be revised and offer for comments. Once everything is done, the draft will become accounting standards, will be applicable for all the companies and chart accountants. So this is the flow of process in which the accounting standards are set, but I don't see any merit in discussing anything further. We also have accounting standard setting board, ASB, accounting standards board is also there. So they will take care of in consultation with other statutory bodies like ICA. Okay, let's focus on levels of accounting standards, because if I show you accounting standard lists, so many accounting standards are there. Don't write it down, just to overview of it. AS1 is on disclosure, AS2 on valuation, 3 on cash flow statement. Like that, we have so many. What is AS6, accounting standard 6? From this list, can you see? Nothing is there because it deleted. Don't think it is a printing mistake. Accounting standard 6 is deleted. Accounting standard 8 is deleted. We also wish no, all of them would have been deleted. Our syllabus only would have been deleted. Then our job also would have been deleted. So some standards are deleted. Earlier, your previous syllabus, some standards used to be in intermediate and some standards were coming in final level. Now, all accounting standards are part of intermediate itself. So, beginning from 1, ending till accounting standard 30 you have. So, all accounting standards are not applicable, not for you, for certain companies. For you, everything is applicable. For students, no choice. But for corporates, all companies need not follow all accounting standards. So, we have something called as levels of accounting levels of companies. For accounting standards by ICI, we have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And for MCA, but for companies also we have certain levels that we'll have to write down before, we'll write down together. Just give me 1 minute, because based on that questions can be asked. Okay, I think we'll have to write down together. Not a problem. Okay, so applicability, we have AS by ICAI, AS by MCA. By ICI, we have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Then by MCA, we have SMC and non-SMs. I'll tell you when to write down. Let me first explain, then you can copy it down. I'll give you time. Okay, so write down up to that stage now, then we'll fill up further. Applicability, you write down AS by ICI, AS by MCA. For ICI, we have 4 levels, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. For level 1, we'll fill up, then we'll go for level 2, level 3. Level 1, turnover more than 250 crores, TO, turnover more than 250 crores. Borrowings means loan. Borrowing more than 50 crores. Can be listed banks FI means financial institutions. Or I'll just write like this: listed banks FI holding subsidiary or associate. So level 1, turnover more than 250 crores, borrowing more than 50 crores, listed banks FI. FI is financial institutions. Like we have LIC Housing Finance, it's not a bank, but that is a financial institutions, NBFCs, all those things. Holding company, subsidiary company, or associate company. All of them are level 1. Any of these one condition is satisfied is sufficient. Remember, all are not required to be satisfied. One condition, you become level 1. Any one condition. Either turnover more than 250 crores, or borrowing more than 50 crores, or listed, or banks, or holdings, or subsidiary, any of this, one condition. Okay, I'll tell you a few things. You tell me whether it is level 1 or not. A Limited is a listed company. Level 1. Unlisted company. Just tell me whether level 1 or not level 1. Not level 1. Sales 400 crores. Sales 200 crores. Sales 240 crores, GST 60 crores. That's what happens in exam. Everything you answered, we stop at that. In exam, they'll tell you 240 crores sales, GST 60 crores. GST, you charge GST on goods sold. So without that is 60, only pure sales is 240. Not level 1, because when I say turnover, we will not include tax. Tax we collect and we give it to government. That is not any part of turnover of the companies. Turnover 240 crores, other income 20 crores. Sales 240 crore, goods sold 240 crore. But you might have FD, FD will give you interest. So other income 20 crores. If you add that, that becomes 260. We should not add. It is only turnover without adding other income. Borrowing 60 crores, level 1. Beginning of the year, borrowing was 60 crores. During the year, they repaid loan of 20 crores. So out of 60 crores, they repaid loan of 20. So closing balance is 40. Still level 1, because they say borrowing more than 50 crore at any time during the year. Does not matter opening, closing, middle. Repaid does not matter. Any time during the year, this is part of level 1. Listed not in India, listed in US. That is still level 1. Listed company, not necessarily India. Anywhere listed, or in fact in the process of getting listed, they become level 1. So you might be a private company, Microsoft India Private Limited. It is a subsidiary of listed Microsoft in US, level 1, because the holding company is listed, therefore its subsidiary does not matter whether it is satisfying these conditions or not. If holding company is a level 1, all the subsidiary becomes level 1, and vice versa. If subsidiary is listed, holding company also becomes level 1. So level 1, any one conditions, these conditions to be satisfied. For level 2, the turnover values will change. 50 to 250 crores. Turnover 50 to 250. And when I say CR, it is crore, not credit debitor. You are so used to journal entry. So you might say, sir, credit is there, where is debit and all, don't ask me. Here you don't ask. Day before exam, you will get all these extraordinary thoughts. So they are crores. 50 to 50 crores, or borrowing 10 to 50. So if the borrowing is 75 crores, that is level 2. Or sorry, borrowing is let's say 30 crores, level 2. Turnover is 75 crores, between 50 to 250. That becomes level 2. And remember, one more thing forward tell, should always look at the previous accounting year, because current year you are still running, it's not closed. So now we are in April 24 to March 2024-25 year. So for current year, I should look at the previous year data, because that is only year completed. Only complete year I can compute these numbers. Okay, then others will not come. Level 3. Turnover is 10 to 50 crores. Turnover 10 to 50 crores. Borrowing 2 to 10 crores. Borrowing 2 to 10 crores. Level 4 are others remaining. Okay, coming to MCA, SMC. SMC means small, medium companies. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, coming to SMCs. So SMC means It is small company, medium companies. Small company means not listed, not bank or financial institutions, turnover less than 250 crores, borrowing less than 50 crores, and not holding subsidiary or associate. And remember, these are all conditioned to be satisfied. If you want to call yourself small, medium company, all conditioned to be satisfied. It should not be a bank. It should not have turnover or turnover less than 250 crores, borrowing less than 50 crores. In all aspects, it should be small. Even in one aspect, if it is out, it is becoming non-SMC. Non-SMC is others. Simple. Okay, you tell me now. A company having turnover of 75 crores, where will we fit it? Company having turnover of 75 crores. When I say company, you should not look at by ICA at all. You should look at only MCA. Company means you should focus only either it is SMC or non-SMC. So ICI is actually applicable only for non-corporates. You can make note somewhere. MCA is applicable for corporates, for companies. ICI, it is non-corporates. For MCA is for corporates, companies. So if I tell you turnover is 75 crores, you should look at either it is SMC or non-SMC. Only one of them should come. So which one will be? It will be SMC. Turnover of 300, company with turnover of 300 crores. Non-SMC. Company with turnover of 300 crores is non-SMC. Companies having turnover of 75 crores but borrowing of 60 crores. I'll tell slowly. Turnover 75 crores, borrowing 60 crores. It is non-SMC because you violated borrowings. One condition you violate, you become big company. So for you to tell small, lot of criteria has to be satisfied. You remember something like a criteria. See, if in government gives lot of schemes, right? For minority reservations will be there. Like you can also apply for free electricity now. Our government is giving free electricity, is giving some extra money. For you, for that, lot of conditions are there. Even if you violate one condition, that benefit is taken out. If you violate one condition, you move from SMC to non-SMC. And what is the benefit? We are not discussing now. Like certain accounting standards are not applicable for small companies. What are those? That is too much in depth. Even if you discuss, you will not be able to know because you don't know what is accounting standards list now. Maybe later at the end, we can think about it. Okay, you tell me. A private, a partnership firm having turnover of 100 crores. A partnership firm having turnover of 100 crores. Level 2 enterprise, because partnership means non-corporate. We go with ICI. 100 crore, the turnover is between 50 crore and 100 crores. So therefore it is level 2 enterprise. Okay, so this is one application you have to remember on level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, SMC, non-SMC, corporates and non-corporates. One more accounting standards that we have touched upon, but we have not discussed in detail, that is Ind AS, Indian accounting standards. So let's talk about that little bit. Ind AS applicability, or we call it as convergence to IFRS. Convergence to IFRS. We use the word gap. Any idea what is the full form of gap? Generally accepted accounting principle. We call it as Indian gap because we have this principle. Like this, US has US gap, Germany has Germany gap. Like that, everybody has their own accounting principles. What is the subject name we are discussing now, or the topic name? Ind AS, but before that, what is the chapter name? Accounting standards. What is the purpose of accounting standards? We bring uniformity. And if you have our own accounting standards, where is uniformity in accounting standards? So, universally, everybody was following different accounting standards. India follows one, Germany follow one, US follow one. We want something common between these countries. So, we came up with this idea of IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. That is for all companies, all countries. Now, if somebody prepares, how can India take it as it is? We are the largest democracy in the world. Somebody prepares and say, take it, I cannot take it. Ego hurts. We are the largest democracy in everything, good, bad, everything we have an example. Why all the foreign companies want to come to India? Because they have both. They have factory, they have office, they have customers. Anything you produce in India, you will find a customer. Anything you want to produce, India, you will find a resource. So we are having so much of resource available, opportunity available. We can't have our own accounting standards. Why should we depend on others? We don't want anybody else accounting standards. We prepare our own. We just copy others. We don't want others. That's what is Ind AS. Ind AS, if I have to tell in local words, it is a copy of IFRS. But if we cannot tell copy, no. So we use the word convergence. So how we are adopting international standards? We don't copy, we don't adopt. We are taking a route of convergence to IFRS. Convergence means we are moving towards them. In that step, we have introduced this concept of Ind AS. So IFRS, International Accounting Standard 1 is Ind AS 1. International Accounting Standard 2 is Ind AS 2. So all the data have been copy pasted, but we made small changes here and there. That's what our movies also people will do. They do all Xerox remake, and then we'll say we made changes. For nativity, we made some changes, small here and there. For IFRS also, they made some changes in Ind AS. They are called as carve outs and carve ins, the difference between Ind AS and IFRS. But more about Ind AS, you don't have to learn. Just like your IPCC syllabus is accounting standards, your CA file syllabus is completely of Ind AS. So Ind AS in depth you will learn in CA final level, but now we will learn two things: the meaning of convergence to IFRS and for whom Ind AS is applicable. I told you Ind AS applicable for big companies. Big means what? That we will learn it. That is what within our scope. So just give the heading Ind AS applicability and we'll write few sentences on that. And also write that heading, convergence to IFRS. Convergence. convergence to IFRS. Both are headings, both headings you give. Convergence to IFRS, and below that or within that heading, Ind AS applicability. Then you write down few sentences. I'll dictate, you write it down. To achieve harmony with IFRS, to achieve harmony with IFRS, to achieve harmony with IFRS, to achieve harmony with IFRS. Harmony with IFRS means India also have to adopt IFRS because international pressures are there. We have signed various agreements. So to achieve harmony with IFRS, India has adopted the path of India has adopted the path of India has adopted the path of convergence. India has adopted the path of convergence by issuing Ind AS, by issuing Ind AS, like Indian accounting standards, by issuing Ind AS, by issuing Ind AS. I think many places people are thinking we should rename India to Bharat, then maybe it becomes Bharat accounting standards maybe. As of now, it is still Indian accounting standards. So that's the convergence, and we'll write one or two more sentences. Write down. IFRS is broader. IFRS is broader as compared to accounting standards. IFRS is broader as compared to accounting standards. IFRS is broader as compared to accounting standards. As compared to accounting standards. And requires many estimates and disclosures. Requires many estimates and disclosures. Many estimates and disclosures. Just read what you've written, see if you're able to understand the last part. IFRS is more broader. It gives more options basically. Our accounting standard is narrow, strict, whereas IFRS is little bit more broader. It's because of cultural difference, that's all. See, just like the differences between, let's say, choosing life partner, how an Indian parents respond versus how a Western country parents respond. What is their expectation? A Western US parent will not expect their children to take permission and all. What they expect is information. If you're getting married, please let us know. Or after getting married, at least then you let us know. India, it is different. You need permission. A lot of other things are there. Based on that only, a lot of movies are also there. So our accounting standard mindset is also that we tell you have to follow this standard. You have to follow this method. You follow either straight line method, WDV. No more choice beyond that. Accounting standards are rigid. Whereas IFRS is more flexible. They give lot of options and therefore they expect more disclosures because they give you more options. So in accounting standards, to give an example, we have an accounting standard called as related party transactions. Related party means like if you're having a close associate, you're selling the goods, that rates may not be normal rates, but we need to do a disclosure. Now, when I say related party, what is the meaning of related party in your opinion? Let's say managing director is a key person. So, managing director wife is a related party. So, if company pays anything to managing director wife, that should be disclosed, because managing director is in a influential position. He can make company make lot of payments. So, that should be reported. So, AS 18 says related party means spouse of key person, whereas Ind AS, IFRS, don't use the word spouse. They use the word domestic partner, because their life is not just husband and wife, their life is beyond it. They also believe in living relationships, so they use the word domestic partners. And then they use the word children's. So, related party says spouse or children are related parties, but there they mention specifically children of the person, children of spouse, children's of domestic partner. Because in US, UK, and it's very common telling that my child and your child is playing with our child. So, you have to understand the background. Based on that, accounting standards are also built. It might be on a later note, but these are the words used in Ind AS. It's because of again what are the background in which business is built, accordingly the compliance rules also should be there. Anyway, that's why we say IFR is broader, whereas accounting standards are more specific. Okay, next sentence. Convergence with IFRS means, convergence with IFRS means, convergence with IFRS means adoption of IFRS, adoption of IFRS with exceptions, adoption of IFRS with exceptions. Adoption of IFRS with exceptions. With exceptions, called as carve-ins and carve-outs, carve-ins and carve-outs, called as carve-ins, CARVEINS, carve-ins and carve-outs. Carve-ins and carve-outs. They are the exceptions. Exceptions called as carve-ins and carve-outs. What are those exceptions and all? Again, not our syllabus now, but when you come to final level, you will learn what are those differences. Okay, first we'll learn to whom this is applicable, for what type of companies. For that, let me do a quick summary of it. Summary of accounting applicability. Let me explain, then you take it down. Please look at it, then you can take it down. I'll give you time. Company's net worth more than 500 crores. What do you mean by net worth? Any idea? It comprises of share capital and reserves. For an individual, we just say capital. Asset minus liability is capital, initial capital and profits accumulated. But for a company, we have this heading, share capital heading and then reserves. Those two headings put together, that is called as net worth. Share capital plus reserves, if that is more than 500 crores, they become big companies. So for them, they have to follow Ind AS and not our accounting standard local. Okay, this came from 1/4/2016, that is called as phase 1. So initially when they introduced, they came up with this on 1/4/2016. They made applicable for companies more than 500 crores net worth, whether listed or unlisted. Then when they come to phase 2, they include all listed companies and unlisted companies where net worth is more than 250 crores. That is called as phase 2. So as of now, phase 1 is not relevant, because if it is more than 250 crores, obviously it means more than 500 crores also. So phase 1 is not relevant. Remember only the second part of it. So if it is net worth more than 250 crores or your listed company, then you have to follow Ind AS. And remember, it is including any holding subsidiary associate in that group. If your holding company follow Ind AS, you also should follow Ind AS. If your subsidiary company follow Ind AS, your net worth does not matter. You should also follow Ind AS. That's why I say Ind AS is like Corona. Corona comes to one person in family, everybody gets it. So Ind AS is applicable for one person, holding, subsidiary, joint venture, associate. Everybody in the group have to follow Ind AS. So this is, remember, always applicable. I'll just use short form: holding, subsidiary, associate, JV for joint venture, applicable for holding subsidiary. If unlisted companies net worth less than 250 crores, then for them Ind AS is not applicable. If Ind AS is not applicable, then for them which is applicable? Accounting standards issued by MCA, because they are companies. If they are non-corporates, accounting standards issued by ICAI, and within them for MCA it will be either SMC or non-SMC. For ICAI, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. That chart we have already written. But prior to that, you should remember for whom Ind AS is applicable. So make a note of this also. So companies net worth more than 500 crore. Net worth means I gave you the calculation above. Share capital plus reserves. So net worth more than 500 crores, Ind AS from 1/4/16. Just for reference, that is called as phase 1. For phase 2, all listed companies and unlisted companies more than 250 crores net worth. That is from 1/4/2017. Unlisted companies less than 250 crores means we go with MCA accounting standards. And if they're non-corporate, they're not companies, means they follow ICAI accounting standards. and is applicable to HSAG, that is holding, subsidiary, associate, joint venture. Once it's applicable to anybody in the group, Ind AS applicable for everyone, and once it applies, you can't come out of it. H holding, S subsidiary, A associates, JV joint venture. Holding, subsidiary, associate, joint venture, applicable to all of them. Okay, so any doubts, any questions on this? Okay. The material, once you get it, that will have more detailed explanation, you can go through it. But in the essence, what is required, that is, these charts will give you. And I will follow this approach for all our accounting standards also, because they will tell you so much rules. If you go with one after the another, we will not be able to remember it. I will give you in the chart format, so it will be easy for you to revise. Okay, I hope you have taken down it. Let's go further. Okay, so this is how typically now institute is asking questions at intermediate level. They'll give you this detailed case studies. They'll give you some personal information also, I think. They are giving so much, so there will be a lot of unnecessary stuff. You have to weed out that. Let's read slowly. Let's read together. Hope everybody can read this much. The font is big enough. If you want me to increase the font, let me know. I'll increase it and we'll put it to the next slide. I hope this is comfortable. It's fine. Let's read together. Green Tech Innovators Private Limited, a rapidly growing company in the renewable energy sector, specializes in manufacturing and installation of solar panel for commercial and residential use. Chumma some stories they'll give, just to waste your time. But that's what the current trend in institute questions is. The company operates in a competitive market with a strong focus on sustainability and reducing carbon footprints. I don't know what and all they're giving. Green Tech has successfully ventured into wind energy projects as part of diversification strategy. So far what they've given is not relevant. Let's read now. It is a listed company. Hope that point you're able to understand clearly. It is a listed company. In the exam, don't mark like this in question paper. As per institute rules, you can only write roll number. Beyond that, no dot also should be there on question paper. If it is there, it might be considered as malpractice. As if we don't know what we are going to copy in CA exams. That copying never gave me any idea, because my question is always in exam. How do you know which will come in exam? So much content is there. Which copy sheet you take it to exam? No, my sincere doubt. If syllabus is less, I understand. How do you reduce that bigger content into small chits? If you can, that is really a great talent. I'm honestly telling, that art of condensing is not an easy job. If somebody can do it, it's a really good thing. My second doubt is, even after writing it so much, let's say you reduce it small content, how do you know which is there, which area? Like you have GST of 100 marks. Like chapter 1 is in my left pocket, chapter 2 right pocket. You need an index for that also, no? Otherwise, where will you know which sheet is in which place? Or will you be like, let them ask any question, I will write this only. Then it's okay. That cheat thing never convinced me. I used to copy slightly different way in exams. Now I can tell you and you don't follow it. Again, when I shifted from Kannada medium to English medium in my 8th standard and all, I used to fail in every paper almost. After second, third paper onwards, I started passing. Not by knowing the subject, because how they used to correct it. The teachers were not, it's okay, things will fall down. In my class, things falling down is not a difficult thing. As long as things not falling on me, I'll continue. I'm safe until then. So teachers were lazy to correct the paper. So what they used to do is they used to distribute the papers in the class and mix it up and correct it. So what I used to do, I was not submitting the answer paper itself during submission. And when they distribute the papers in class, I used to write it prior to that, and as if I just pass it back and somebody will correct it. And I used to get some good marks there. Anyway, don't do all those things now. Somehow I have to pass the exam, so I pass the exams there, but don't write here. They're all experiences. Use it only in a proper manner. Don't take it otherwise. Okay, so it's a listed company. Don't mark it in all exam paper, not accepted. It has 3 subsidiaries, XYZ. As on March 2014, net worth of the company is 600 crores. Net worth of company X is 100. Net worth of company Y is 400 and company Z is 210. All the 3 subsidiaries are non-listed public companies. So, a holding company is a listed company. The 3 subsidiaries are unlisted companies. Holding company performed the following transactions. During the year 14-15, company Green Tech has sold its entire investment in company X on December 14, which means if you sell the investment, that is no longer a subsidiary. Subsidiary means you should have at least 50% stake. And if you sell, then there is no holding subsidiary relationship. Therefore, they only given that company X no longer subsidiary of company A for the purpose of preparation of financial statements on 31st March 2017. During 15-16, that is next year, company Green Tech has sold its investments in company Y on December 2015. Therefore, company Y is no longer subsidiary for purpose of preparation of financial statements on 17. During financial 16-17, next year, company Green Tech has sold off its investment in company Z on December 16, and therefore, Z is no longer subsidiary of company A for the purpose of presentation on 31st March 17. Looks so much information, but actually what they are doing, in 14-15, they sold one company. 15-16, they sold another company. 16-17, they sold another company. Year by year, they are selling their subsidiary one by one. Okay, then let's read the question. For the year end date, 31st March 14, Green Tech will be classified as Companies Accounting Standard Rules 2006, SMC, non-SMC, level 3 entity, none of the above. Don't get worried by Companies Accounting Standard Rules 2006. That is MCA accounting standards. We have discussed 2 things, right? One is MCA accounting standards, other is MCA Ind AS. That MCA accounting standard is Accounting Standard Rules 2006. That's what it's called. And for Ind AS, we have Accounting Rules 2015. But we call it as Ind AS. Green Tech Limited will be classified as. Now, first of all, will Ind AS be applicable here? Will Ind AS be applicable here? From which date Ind AS applicable? Just check it out. If you fulfill the criteria. 1/4/2016. This is for the year 2014. So Ind AS is not yet applicable. So don't worry about the Ind AS as on 31st March 14. Later I don't know. As on 31st March 14, Ind AS you need not worry about. Okay. Then it is a listed company. Okay. It is a company. So which one will you apply? MCA or ICA? MCA. So MCA has two varieties, either SMC or non-SMC. It is non-SMC because Green Tech is listed company. Turnover borrowings we don't have, but information what we have is listed company. So you can write the question number 1 and answer is option B. You can just write that summary answer, that's sufficient. 1B you mention. And the reason. Green Tech is listed company. Just mention 1B and reason Green Tech is listed. So this is how you expect the questions in exam. They'll give you a series of paragraphs and questions based on that. If the company was unlisted company, then our answer would have been SMC. If the company was not a company, in the sense if the entity is not a corporate, then ICI. But which one? That we don't know. That we don't know because the turnover borrowing information is not given. You can say listed, but corporates cannot be listed. Only non-corporate cannot be listed. So ideally they cannot be classified, but anyways, that you don't worry. Whatever asked will address. Okay, hope you got this question. Let's go further. Same question only. Next sub question. From which date Green Limited will be preparing financial statements mandatorily as per Companies Accounting Standard Rules 2015? From when Ind AS is applicable is what they are asking. 1/4/16. 1/4/16 only, no? 16 onwards, for them is applicable. They are listed. But listed they did not apply from 16. They said net worth of how much? For you to apply from 1/4/16, net worth should be 500 crores. What about this company? They have net worth of 600 crores. In the year 14 itself, obviously it will increase over a period of time. So net worth is more than 500 crores. So you can say that it's applicable from 1/4/2016. 1/4/2016 onwards. So option B. So question 2 also you can mention option B. 1/4/16. Reason. Net worth more than 500 crores. And you can also mention phase 1. Because for phase 1, 500 crores was applicable. For phase 2, it became 250 crores. And for phase 1, listed, unlisted, no difference. Net worth is only we look at it, 500 crores. And I hope once you read the case study, you'll remember the case study, because these days we can't remember OTP only, I think. When you have typed the OTP, you will forget 4 digits. So case study you have to remember. So memory is important. Okay, let's read further. For the year ended March 2018, which of the above subsidiary will be part of financial statements and its group? You need the question to look at, I think. For the year 2018, they are asking. Let me put the question back. X subsidiary is sold in December 14. Obviously, they are not there now. So, for them it is not applicable. What about Y? They sold on December 15. They are not there now. What about this company Z? Z only, no, this one? Z. They sold in 16. We are preparing 17, 18. So, can we say none of the above? The answer is wrong. The hint is from when Ind AS is applied, green tech has to follow Ind AS from which date? 1/4/16. That everybody is clear. As on 1/4/16, which subsidiary was there? X was not there, Y was not there, Z was there, because Z you sold investment in December 16. April 16, that Z Limited was subsidiary. So, if it is applicable to holding company Ind AS, it's also applicable to the subsidiary. So, they have to prepare Ind AS going forward. Once applies, they cannot come out of it. So, answer is which subsidiary then? Z, sorry, XYZ, no, ABC is no, why? It should be XYZ, no, ABC is not, sorry. I'll just change the options. It should be XYZ, not ABC, XYZ Limited. I'll come to that. So far what I just explained, the subsidiary was there on 1/4/2016 when the Ind AS was applicable. And on that date, Z Limited was there. So, Z Limited also has to prepare Ind AS. So, going forward, Z Limited will prepare Ind AS, whether they are part of the group or not. Once applicable, even after coming out of it, you still have to follow Ind AS. Now, the question is, as on 31st of March 2018, are you still the subsidiary? When was the investment sold? December 2016. So, in the year 17-18, that subsidiary is not part of the group. So, when it is not part of the group, therefore, you don't have to do any consolidation. So, answer is still none of the above. The consolidation will come only when there is holding subsidiary group. My question is not whether Ind AS is applicable or not. Which of the above subsidiary will be part of financial statements and its group for Green Tech Limited? Green Tech Limited group does not contain any of this as on 31st March 2018. So, there is no question of consolidation. Consolidation comes only if there is holding as well as subsidiary. Subsidiary has gone out. They will follow Ind AS separately. Consolidation means we have to combine. When they are out of the group, we are not going to combine them. So, answer is still none of the above. I'll complicate this question slightly further. What if this question is on 31st March 2017? Would answer be different or answer be same? Answer would be different then. Sir, the subsidiary sold on 31st of December 2017, sorry 16. So 31st of March they are not subsidiary, but they were subsidiary for 9 months. 9 months transactions. When I say consolidated financial statements, it is balance sheet and P&L account. P&L account means transaction throughout the year. So the consolidated P&L should include the holding company transaction subsidiary until December, until the point of sale. Slightly above the level, but don't worry. When we do consolidation, you will get the clarity even more better. But to answer your question, consolidated financial statements on 31st March 17 of Green Tech should include Z Limited till December 16. The transaction done till there, we prepare the P&L account. The sales, profit and all will accumulate, will consolidate. So when I say financial statements, don't think only balance sheet, also includes P&L. But anyway, as of now, for this question number 3, we'll answer, the answer is D. Reason, no subsidiary were part of the group during 2017-18. Hence, no consolidation applies. No subsidiary were part of the group during 17-18. Hence, no consolidation applies. We'll just do one more problem. After that, we'll go to next problem. Don't expect too much. Okay, good. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. Let's take up this one. Okay, so based on the criteria above, based on the criteria for rating of non-corporate entity, based on the criteria for rating of non-corporate entity, what do you understand by this? We only apply as per ICI, which is level 1, level 2, level 3 and level 4. So out of those 4 only we will classify. Categorize the following as level 1, 2, 3, 4 for the purpose of compliance of accounting standards in India. Rama Textiles, whose turnover excluding other income exceeds 10 crores but does not exceed 50 crores in the immediately preceding accounting year. It is between 10 and 50. So 10 and 50. So this is level 3. So you can mention somewhere that part A, whatever the question number, and then mention it as level 3. Okay, next, Star Industries is having borrowings including public deposits in excess of rupees 2 crore but not in the excess of rupees 10 crore at any time during immediately preceding accounting year. 2 crore to 10 crores. So what is the chart will tell us? Two crore to 10 crore borrowing is level 3. So you can mention point B as level 3. Newman Industries having borrowing, including public deposits, less than rupees 50 lakhs at any time during immediately preceding year. Level less than 50 lakhs. Level 4 cutoff is 2 crore, I think, no? Borrowing is level 3 is 2 to 10 crore. Less than 2 crore is level 4 and it's less than 50 lakhs. Of course, less than 50 means less than 2 crore also. So, less than 2 crore, so it is level 4. Point C is level 4. Point C is level 4. SS Finance is a financial institution carrying the business in India since the last 10 years. Last 10 years, so what? What is important is financial institution. So, financial institutions means it is level 1. DD Finance, holding company of SS Finance. Yeah, holding of any of those also will be part of the same level. So, it is still level 1. Cooperative bank, a cooperative bank carrying on banking operations in the last 15 years. Banking or financial institutions all will be classified as level 1. Okay, this was the question on RTP May 2024, but that's how you can expect the question from these areas. You can ask some theory questions like what is the requirement or objective of accounting standards, write short notes on convergence of Ind AS or convergence of IFRS, and classification of entities into different kinds. I think this is what you can expect. A straightforward question, but you have to remember those numbers, the turnover limits, borrowing. That number, if you remember, then applying that to which category is not a complicated one.